to chat for the hearts that sustain us. Bringing the love where the waves crash and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Here in this space, every heart finds its meaning. Words weave a net where the world feels much kinder. Chat is the pulse, every moment redeeming, binding reminder. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power. Threads of goodwill through the storms that unite us. Hope we devour. Quiet nights and the storms full of thunder, chat holds the light, every word a new tether. Strength in the love that connects us, no sunder, lifting together. Hats off to chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. Hats off to chat for the joy in your giving. Every kind soul brings a world that feels brighter. May these connections endure while we're living, bond growing tighter. To chat for the hearts that sustain us. Bringing the love where the waves crash and scatter. Words form a bond and they endlessly chain us. Kindness that matters. Voices arise and the flow never falter. Building a space where the ties last forever. Chat is the place where respect doesn't alter, holding us clever. Grateful are we for the sparks that ignite us. Chat lifts us up, every voice brings its power.
Hey guys, how is everybody? hand look funny sitting there like that, like I'm choking myself. I was just sitting here listening to the music, waiting on everybody to show up. Scooter Mom, if you're still here, say something. Hi, Minnie. How are you? It is good to see you. I hope that everybody is having an excellent day today. I think that people are generally having an excellent day today. I'm not sure how long this good news will last, and I don't want to celebrate too soon. Nico, sweetheart, I was thinking about you yesterday. I was going through my mail and found that wonderful essay you sent me so long ago. And I was thinking how good it still is, how true it still rings. It was really excellent. Thank you for your really valuable insight. Yeah, I wish I had it in real life too, Nico. Wouldn't that be nice? It is quite lovely. I think the AI did me well on this one. The AI sure did do me well on this background. I'm very pleased with it. You guys, I've got a little ottoman under my desk in front of my chair, and Orion likes to climb up and sit on top of it. So he is sitting on top of the ottoman that I've got my legs up in between my legs, cuddling just happily as can be. I thought y'all would like to know that Orion is here. He is just not showing his face. He is cuddling privately today, which is fine with me because it means he's not going to be washing my face. I know everybody and their brother is live right now, so it may be really. Nico, I think the ball has been run with. Absolutely. I think people are done. They are finished. They have had enough of this type of behavior. And I've been thinking about that a lot, y'all. And so, hi, Susan. How are you? I wanted to talk up today high control groups and how that relates to DOA and the allegory of the cave. I'm not sure I'll have a ton good to say. My thoughts are still not concise. But I think tribalism. I think there's a difference between tribalism that's good, Susan. I'm really glad you're okay. I've been so worried about you with that new job. I think tribalism is a little different. Hey, Bridge. Tribalism is a little different than high control groups. I think, but I think that for practical purposes, you're not wrong, Nico. I'm not trying to be super critical. I was let's see, who was first in? I need to go back and check. Minnie. Minnie, I need to know if you like orange or gray. Because you win first in. Hold on. I gotta find the first in award. There it's hiding. Gray or orange, Minnie? Gray or orange? Gray. Okay. Gray it is. There you go, Minnie. This is Cricket's kitty. This is Pip. So say hello to Cricket's kitty, Pip, y'all. Thank you, Susan. Minnie, do you know to shoot an email off to Cricket and he will mail you this for being the first in today? You have your next test coming up, Nico. Keep the fingers crossed, then you have subject 2 completed. 2 of 9 subjects. That's amazing, Nico. I'm glad you love it, Minnie. I'm so glad you love it. Cricket does the best work. I am very lucky to have Cricket here making first in and third Minnesota Goodbye Awards. So, Cricket, drop your link. If you're not subbed to Cricket, you should be. You should definitely be subbed to Cricket if you are not subbed to Cricket. I'm so excited for you, Nico. I am almost done with my cumulative project. I have been playing hooky from school. A B is good. Happy birthday, Minnie. That's right. Happy birthday, Minnie. C's get degrees. A B is acceptable. A B is acceptable. I couldn't get anything lower than a B minus in my program, but I don't think I've gotten a B minus in anything. You're welcome, Minnie. Thank you for being here. So, everybody, I'm sure, knows that Scott Hochstetter, DOA, was arrested this morning for assault with a deadly weapon and vandalism with a hate crime attachment for vandalism of religious property. You manage a C, you're a please, so anything above that is icing on the cake. You have another scale. Oh, you have no pluses or minuses. Got it, Nico. That makes sense. Minnie, there's Cricket's email. Cricket, make sure and drop your link. I think everybody's subscribed. But anybody who we'll take everything we can get. In fact, here's Cricket's channel. So go sub to Cricket. Go sub to Cricket for sure. So DOA has been arrested. I know. Thank you, Susan. I know that there are many victims of DOA, right? From just from the Scientology protests and from the protests he's been involved in the past. And today I did a panel with MLH with some of the people who have been his victims in the past. And I have to say that some of these people I probably have no agreement with ideologically in some areas. I think that there are great political divides, there are great personal divides, there are areas in which we disagree, probably passionately. And I don't know these people. These are just my assumptions. And there was some talk in the chat about whether these people were well behaved, appropriate, kind. And I think it's really important to talk about the diversity of thought and opinion that is required to hold spaces open so that there can be a dialogue, so that people can see a different way. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here. So you guys can pop up with an amen or a competing idea. Either of those would be fine with me. Dialogue through ideological disagreement is the only way to reach people. So if we go back to the allegory of the cave, if you guys remember, this is Plato's story of just imagine you're in a cave. You're chained to the cave. Your heads are locked in place so you can only see the shadows on the wall. Those shadows become reality. You don't know about the fire behind you. You don't know about the real objects casting the shadows. And you don't know about the world beyond the cave. And this is the basis of so many stories, right? And then one day a prisoner is freed and stumbles into the light and they become blinded and confused because the real world is too overwhelming. Too overwhelming. And they want to go back. But eventually they adjust and begins to see. But then he returns to the cave to tell the others. Combat doesn't always give us perfect allies. FDR did a lot of good, but he also put Americans in concentration camps. Yes, Adam. Yes. And there was a whole lot of high control group going on in the 50s in the government with McCarthyism. So the real problem happens. How you doing, Adam? When the person who has been freed goes back to the cave to free the captives. And we've seen this over and over again with Scientology, right? The captives, they don't want to hear it. They call you a liar, a traitor. They don't want to see for themselves. They turn on him and say he's brainwashed and cling even harder to their reality. So imagine that you're living in the cave. We have to remember the cave isn't necessarily good or bad. The cave is perceived as real. And it is, in that sense, real. Just as real as Scientology is. In Scientology, if you come back and you try and get people out of the cave, you're a traitor. There's other groups where you're a traitor too, right? They always have a hook. Scientology says self-improvement and unlocking hidden potential. Lori, how are you? Yes, everybody and their brother is live this evening. I am going live right in the middle of it, but that's okay. People will show up over here when they show up. How are you doing, Lori? So the hook in Scientology is self-improvement and hidden potential. The hook in MLM schemes is financial freedom and empowerment. So what the question It's easy to point fingers and say DOA is like the leader of a cult because there's so many things that mark a high control group that also mark DOA. Minnie, do you have your email on your page? One of the reasons that I have a problem with telling people whose chat they can be in or having a problem with who people talk to is because it creates an us versus them mentality. And it forces people into adopting us versus them positions. And in some cases, it is a requirement to draw a line. If your driving principle is tolerance, Minnie, if you try to put it here, it won't show up. You have to put it into, you have to put it like your word, your email alias, and then a space, and then you could try an @ symbol, and then you could try .com, the domain. But it won't, unless you're a mod, you yourself can't put, here, let's do it this way. Minnie. Now you can put your email in chat, Minnie. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put your email in chat. The music, the neighbor's music has started, y'all. It's shaking the walls. Shaking the walls. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Can you guys remind me? Completely lost my train of thought. I had notes, but I was going off notes. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Minnie. That was your moment in the sun. You had momentary moderator privileges, Minnie. There you go. I am sure that Cricket will get right on it, Minnie. Thank you. I'm so glad you won. I'm so glad you won. You're very welcome. No problem at all. Thanks, Cricket. Thank you very much. Cricket, you've got a package in the mail. You've got a package in the mail that should arrive Monday. Let me check. Let me check that. Oh my goodness. Where is it? right there. Yep, it's going to arrive tomorrow. Just for you, Cricket. Yes, Lori. The link for Minnie's email? Minnie, do you want your email out there? Because I can delete the comment if you want. Lori, are you wanting Minnie's email? If you don't want to make it public, Minnie, I can delete it right now. But I need to know what you think. I have totally lost my train of thought now, y'all. Nico, it's amazing to see you, dear. I am so glad you are well. Thank you for stopping by. You need to get your rest. So we will see you soon, but take care and keep us updated how things are going. Okay, Minnie, that's good. Thank you, Cricket. It is the origin of Minnesota, Nico. I am part Swedish. I am also part Danish. No, we were doing a link to her email. Do you need a link to her channel? Hold on. Cricket or Susan can drop a link to her channel. And yes, that link will be live if you come back to the live after and watch it. You guys want a puppy? Come here. Hold on. I'm going to disappear for a second. I bet. Come here. Here's a puppy. Oh my goodness. You're from a refund from a UFO? That's funny. We missed you too, Nico. We missed you too. I'm glad we Beetlejuiced you into the chat by me just thinking about you. I really was thinking about you just the other day. Hey. Hey. No licks. We don't need to do licks. You can just sit there and be handsome. Yeah. You can sit there and be a handsome boy. Yeah. They're a handsome boy. Tim's a handsome boy. He is doing really well, Nico. He is doing really well. He's recovering nicely. I can see I need to get the green screen out when I put him down. I will do that in just a moment. Did you get it, Minnie? Oh no, Nico. I'll have to look into that. That's not good. That's not good at all. The Beetlejuice trick seems to work to get people into the chat. It's been pretty amazing recently. We were in Scooter Mom's chat yesterday and Beetlejuiced Pup Groomer into it. Good, Minnie. And there's been a couple other places lately that I've gotten people Beetlejuiced. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. They're suspecting it will go supernova. Wow. We indeed will see about that. Okay, guys, I can see that I need to put my green screen on. Hold just one moment. And I will make it happen with Ryan on my shoulder. Sorry, that was a cough that just came out of nowhere. You guys can hear all of the noise that the background makes. This is me. I'm a professional at this. But look, the background's going to look so much sharper now. Much better. Much, much better. So where was I in this screed? Diversity of opinion and speaking with other people on the panel who I agree with on one specific issue. So the people on this panel with me, we all agreed that we had been victims. Kristen, I saw your pictures. Can I share your picture, honey? I've been waiting for you to show up to go on and on. Hi, Sunrise Dawn. How are you doing after your day, dear? I know it was a difficult one. Many hugs to you, honey. Kristen, I so want to share your picture. Please, please, please. If you say no, it's okay. I will find online pictures, but it's set. It looks so good. Now I need to go make my own. I think you did an excellent job. It came out just perfect. It looked just perfect. So back to this high control group dialogue, differing diverse perspectives importance. Can I really? Oh, yay. Okay, so you guys, was it last week, Kristen, or was it Wednesday? I was talking about this wonderful dish that I have had since I was a kid. And Kristen, bless her pea-picking little heart, Kristen, Grandpa loved it. It is hella good, isn't it? You don't expect it, but it's so good. So Kristen made kushari, which is an Egyptian dish. She made it tonight. Excellent. Good, Sunrise. I'm glad you're both hanging in there. She made this dish. This dish, if you look here, in the pan on the lower right, that is rice and lentils. And the pan directly above that has macaroni. And in the pan to the left is a tomato sauce with tomatoes and basil and some cayenne and some other things, some celery, some bell pepper. And this is caramelized onions. And you cook those up and then you eat them all together in a bowl like this, with the rice and lentils on the bottom and then the macaroni or the tomato sauce, and then the onions. And it sounds like it will not be the most delicious thing you've ever eaten, but it is one of the most delicious things in the world. That's okay, Kristen. You'll get better with practice. You got to turn the heat down. Turn the heat down a little bit. She does have a nice stove. So it came out. She says, excellent. Okay, Lori, we will see you later, dear. Hugs and hugs. I'm so glad you liked it. It really is one of my favorite meals, and I love to share it. I love to share it because it's so, I mean, it's a little, I want to say it's easy to make, but it's also a little complicated because you're doing 4 things at once. You're cooking you're cooking the lentils and rice, and you're simmering the tomato sauce while you're cooking the onions. That sounds excellent, Minnie. And then you've got to boil the macaroni to be ready when everything else is done. It can be a lot to manage, but it's really simple in its ingredients. It's just lentils and rice. It's just crushed tomatoes and some bell peppers and celery seed and basil, cayenne. And it's just macaroni, and it's just, caramelized onions, an onion and a little bit of oil. Cook them real slow. I usually start the onions first before I even work on the lentils and rice, because those onions, you want to cook them really low and slow to get them nicely caramelized. And so put them on the oven at a 4 for, slice them up and put them on the stovetop at a 4 rather. Or another way to do it, slice them up, put them in a saucepan, in a fry pan, a heat resistant fry pan, and you can saute them in the oven, so you don't have to do it all on the stovetop. You never ever use those back burners. Had to find the manual for stove to figure out how to work them, as the knobs have worn off the low, medium, high markings. Oh, wow. But was it worth it, Kristen? Minnie, the chicken crockpot meal sounds excellent. We don't generally have dinner until after I finish my live, and I am hungry today. And now that coucherie has me thinking. Has me thinking hard. So diversity of opinion, y'all. I think having the conversation, being allowed to totally worth it. Good, Kristen. I'm very glad. Hi, Indigo. How are you? You like the background? It's kind of fun, isn't it? I thought we could just chit chat about the news and about the importance of open dialogue, especially in combating high control groups. So I have talked about the allegory of the cave and how neither being out of the cave or being in the cave is necessarily bad. You need to think about it as the people in the cave. The reason they don't want to step out of the cave is it's like jumping off a cliff into nothingness. If you've listened to the Scientologists who have left talked about what it was like to leave. They were taking a step into nothingness. Diversity of opinion got you way messed up lately? I am sorry, Kristen. Hi, Leslie. It is good to see you, dear. How are things going in the valley? High control group specific, yes. Well, I mean, one of the things that high control groups say is that you can't have diversity of opinion. You can't listen to other opinions. You guys, the Columbia students staged their own musical protest today. It was amazing. Juanita, Corn, Helly, and Trashy were all there. That sounds wonderful, Indigo. I will have to go back and watch it. I will have to go back and watch it. You've heard the news, Indigo, Kristen. Everybody's heard the news that DOA was arrested earlier today. That is what has sort of prompted this conversation about the experience of being in a high control group and the experience of how to interact with high control groups. You're in a bit of a high control group. That can be difficult, Kristen. That can be difficult. Yes, I believe that's what it is, Indigo. It can be hard, dangerous even. Yes. I'm not sure what the story is. I haven't gotten it clear. Fab Daddy, how you doing? How is the hot tub, man? Yeah, Indigo, Minnie, it is quite a few hate crimes. Robert, how are you doing? Indigo, I'm glad you got out. Lupita, sweetie, how are you? Good, Kristen. Good. I think it's important for people to be allowed to engage with other perspectives. Doubt is not a sin. Critique is never a sin. Yes. Good, Fab Daddy. Good. So the way that is, hello, Ellie. Kristen, it may be trumped up. And if it's trumped up charges, then that's uncool. That's uncool. But he has enough victims that's maybe it's not. Maybe they're not trumped up charges. I have concerns that they're trumped up charges. Indigo twin. Yes. You shouted out cricket in the hot tub? Oh, Fab Daddy. Indigo twin says high control groups tend to make you afraid of the outside world. Yes, we're going to go back to Plato's allegory of the cave. They restrict the information and may use vocal or aggressive methods of protest as grounds to prove their perspective. The other thing, high control groups, you're here. Yeah, you were out there for what, 2.5 hours or something, Brain Fog? Brain Fog was out on the streets of San Francisco today for something like 2.5 hours. It is a win for all his victims, Minnie. If they're valid charges. I still have some concerns about the destruction or the vandalism of religious property. Well, it's important to look, Kristen, to look hard at all of the perspectives, right? And remember that there's a spectrum of high control group, right? Scientology is hard on one end of the spectrum. Unwavering loyalty to a leader, unwavering loyalty to a leader, that is a sign of a high control group. No criticism allowed of the leader. Exactly, Ellie. That's the one I'm worried about too. Not easy to prove a hate crime. No. No. The La Poubelle incident, but I'm not sure why all of the charges, I'm not sure if there's separate, we'll find out more when he's arraigned, I'm sure. I'm sure. So, why are the reasons diversity of thought is important? Well, for starters, in a high control group, you have a leader who is put forward as infallible and uncriticizable. And if you criticize the leader or disagree in any way, you are labeled an outsider. And the way to know that this is happening is to watch how your group treats people who leaves. How does your group that you're in treat people who have left the group? Is it with respect? Is it with kindness? Okay, Ellie. Ellie says the 5 vandalism with hate charges are all separate because they all have different dates. And Indigo Twin says there are priors involved with his previous protesting and other accounts he used to have on YouTube. Allegedly. Okay, Indigo. Thank you for reading Reddit for the rest of us. Minnie says the physical planters are property of the church. They weren't directly on the property, but still. No way of defending the church, just saying. Technically, it is vandalism. We are dealing with the church, so he's calling them names, bashing them, can in a legal way be brought to a hate crime. And that is a reason there are rules that you should follow. Yes, Fab Daddy. They keep it copacetic and they learn to accept it. I don't know. See, this I think it's a problem to call them pathetic, Fab Daddy. And here's why I think it's a problem. I think that they are scared. I think that living in a literal cave that's a prison where you are told that everybody is out to get you, and at any opportunity you could become the bad guy, I think that that is terrifying. I think that there are people who crave the order that comes from being in a high control group, the absolutism, the uh the lack of doubt is very comforting to people who aren't accustomed to ambiguity, and there are a lot of people who just can't live with any ambiguity. But the thing is, the reason that I think it's somewhat problematic to call them pathetic is because what we want is to reach them so they come out. And if somebody was calling me pathetic, I wouldn't listen to much that they had to say. So we have to find ways to be curious about what's going on with them and engage in conversation. That doesn't mean I'm saying when people are being hateful, when DOA is being awful, that you need to engage in conversation. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not. I'm not. I'm saying if we're doing us and them and they're doing us and them, somebody's got to change for it to be different. That's all. You have to hate and attack someone because they don't agree with you. You just might be in a cult. Exactly, Ellie. Or a high control group, or have a high control personality. On top of that, legal liability and slander come into it from a business perspective as well. Okay. I understand that, Indigo. Depends on how they leave. That can make sense, Kristen. That can make sense that it depends on how they leave. And it's not just that point that makes it a high control group. It's not any one of the high control group uh, qualities that makes something a high control group. It's a preponderance of those qualities, and they manifest themselves in very different ways across ideological and religious frameworks. That's interesting, Adam. I hadn't thought of that. It's lyrics to a song? I didn't know it's lyrics to a song. That's tell me the song, Fab Daddy. Yes, and to safely protest, you need to know what your city's laws are so that you don't break them, because we don't want to give the ammunition to come after us. We want to do this legally in ways that are protected. Yes, an ideological cult, Kristen. Yes. Lots of rules, even though the First Amendment gets cited a lot. Let me read that again together. On top of that, legal libel and slander come into it from a business perspective oh, no, this one. Different cities have different laws on how large your group can be if you need permits to protest, if you can use spray on chalk versus sidewalk chalk, where flyers can be posted, and how there's a lot of rules, even though the First Amendment gets cited a lot. So it's really important that you know what the rules are. And, in Portland, the rules say no chalk on the sidewalks. But when we checked with the cops didn't have a problem in Portland with us chalking on the sidewalk. So even though the code specifically says no chalking on the sidewalk, the cops said no, it's fine. This is very interesting. Hi, Bill. Welcome in. How are you tonight? Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I expect all of you are subscribed. But please, if you're not subscribed, give the subscribe button a hit and come and hang out once in a while with us and see if you like it around here. It is a laid back space where we just talk about whatever tickles our fancy at the moment. Usually Sunday nights are reserved for book club, but tonight we're doing something a little different because I have been playing hooky all weekend and haven't done any schoolwork and haven't read any books. So, Scientology uses a little of the same that Maharishi and meditation does. It's just a technique, not religion. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Always scanning to make sure I'm not in a cult. And what I have found is that the West is very much the cult we have grown up in, and we have many, many cults inside. Yes, absolutely, Kristen. If you have a picture of the leader in your living room, you're probably in a cult. Indeed, Adam. I think showing compassion is important, says Indigo Twin. Some people are born in, which is very difficult to assist them. Yes. Again, we go to Plato in the cave. Some people have chosen it, but they were in vulnerable state when that choice was made. Right. People who have come from post-traumatic stress are particularly susceptible to high control groups because emotional reactivity is a behavior, quality that attracts people to high control groups. So if you have a lot of emotional reactivity, you can be more attracted to a high control group. You're cracking me up, Bill. My dear leader is this beautiful mermaid. I am 58 years old, y'all, and I have never before in my life purchased a piece of art to hang on the wall. So, an acquaintance of mine recently, let me see if I can show you guys this, recently had a piece of art she made for sale. And I bought it. And I'm so excited because it's so beautiful. Let me find a picture of my painting that I'm so very excited about. This is my new dear leader. Hold on. Just a second. Okay. That is my new piece of art, y'all. My new piece of art. I think she is just beautiful. So, for the first time in my life, I have purchased a painting that somebody made that I'm going to hang on my wall. First piece of art I ever did. I don't know what happened. It was like lightning struck. I saw her and I had to have her. She's just so lovely. So lovely. The song is Bound for the Floor by Local H. I will check it out, Fab Daddy. Hold on. Let me make a note. I'm so far behind the chat, you guys. Pardon me. The only living room pick you have yourself, sir. Guess you're in your own cult. Exactly. Paolo! Hola, ¿cómo está? It is good to see you. Ellie, sweetie, go to sleep. Rest yourself. It was so good to see you today. Take care, honey. All hail mermaid. Yeah, isn't it fun? Them hips are something else, aren't they? She has tiny hands, but I like her. Yeah. Ethel Mermaid? Yes, we can name her Ethel Mermaid. I'll put it up again, Lupita. Okay. I'll put it up again. Absolutely. I think she's beautiful. Thanks, Kristen. I didn't realize I was behind. Isn't she lovely? She does have teensy tiny hands. But those hips, y'all, those hips. I'm so glad to hear that, Paolo. I am so glad that you are well. Adam, now she's going to be named Ethel Mermaid. I'm picking her up from the artist on Tuesday, and I will tell her that someone in my chat named her Ethel Mermaid. I think that's fabulous. Hello, I am so glad you are well. That is always good to hear. Always good to hear. Did you get it, Lupita? Have you seen it? I want to know your thoughts. Hey guys, we went through the first Minnesota goodbye already. I can't quite believe it. I wonder if people's lives have been petering out. So many people live right now. Let's calm down a little bit. calm down a little bit. It does not have a frame, Fab Daddy. I will need to get it framed. I'm assuming it's on a canvas, but I'm not for sure. I have not seen it in person. I am excited. I am excited to pick her up and love her and kiss her. Probably not. And name her Ethel Mermaid. Yeah. Kristen, thank you for that. She is beautiful, isn't she, Lupita? A beautiful siren, beautiful mermaid. Just lovely. Everything about it is lovely. Framed art is very nice. Indeed, Fab Daddy. I will find, don't worry, I will find a nice frame for her. Sometimes you can find nice frames at the Goodwill. Sometimes. You have to take out whatever picture is in there, but sometimes you can find nice frames at the Goodwill. So back to this communication thing. I know for a fact that I disagree politically with several of the people that were on that panel today. But that does not mean that I don't agree with them in one area. And is it possible? I mean, here's the thing. What's the problem with doubt? The problem with doubt is you might figure out you were wrong. Have you really, Fab Daddy? What'd the mermaid do to scare you, Fab Daddy? If you entertain doubts, you might find out that you have been wrong about your entire viewpoint of the world. And for some people, that is overwhelmingly terrifying. I mean, imagine what it would be like to wake up one day and realize that you've been wrong about everything. The animatronic mermaids can be creepy, that they can be. The Hall of Presidents at Disneyland is not my favorite. Not my favorite. Disneyland or Disney World that had the Hall of Presidents. Whack-a-doodle display. So much animatronic presidents. This isn't natural for anyone with ADHD. The problem is that the thoughts spiral out and then I can't keep my track. Yes, Kristen, I was wrong, but when you've been raised to believe that being wrong is bad, you like a siren that flashes? Really, Adam? I know what you mean. Flashing siren. That's hilarious. I don't know how you come up with them, Adam. They're not even bad. I can't even call them bad puns. That's happened to you so much you're kind of damn used to it now being incorrect. Well, I mean, that's something to look at, Kristen. In a high control group, you're made to think you're always wrong and that being wrong is bad. If you're not in a high control group, they encourage you to ask questions. Hey, Danny. How's it being an old married man, Danny? Congratulations. I haven't seen you since the blessed nuptials. So congrats to both of you. It's very good news. Lovely to hear. I hope you are both very happy for many, many years. Many, many years. You are joking. But still, one could see how they would be pretty fishy. You were wrong once, Adam. Was it terrible? I mean, a lot of religious people believe that any doubts are dangerous. You must not doubt the leader. You must not doubt the authority. You must not doubt God. Doubt is a problem. And those people shove down their doubts. You're welcome. You're welcome, Danny. Shove down their doubts because they're afraid. You thought New Coke would be great. Ah! That was your wrong, Adam. Very humbling, huh? Very humbling. Hilarious. Hilarious. So, ideology, politics, religion, you can find high control groups in any of these areas. And so the issue is probably why you don't do well with religion. Too many questions and unable to just do the faith thing. It's important to have questions. Questions are important. Understanding that there's sometimes no answers is also important. Sometimes some people just go on faith, but that doesn't mean that every religion is high control, right? Almond blossoms. Wow, Cricket. That sounds lovely. The Revolutionary Communist Party is almost a sweet cult. They just never get any traction and nobody cares about their dear leader. You mean a good cult? Because there can also be high control groups that are productive, y'all. Just because it's a high control group doesn't mean that it is a negative high control group. There are lots of positive and uplifting high control groups out there. Depends on the HOA, Fab Daddy. That depends on the individual HOA. It's not hard for HOAs to become high control groups. Because it's so easy. I think, my opinion, I think that the board of an HOA is often given Too much power. They're not good, just kind of earnest and pathetic. Oh. Your weed man is your high control. There you go. That's some way high control. Your weed man. They really care a lot. Hey, Shaquille. We are just sitting here, Shaquille, talking about high control groups, the wonderful dinner that Kristen made, the great art that I'm getting on Tuesday. Happy Sunday indeed. How's everybody doing with the time change? Shaquille, in America, our time change was last night. So the clock sprang forward an hour. So at 2 a.m., it became 3 a.m. So we all did with an hour less sleep last night. So we're just kind of barely getting by on that hour less sleep. And my neighbors with the band are just jamming away. Oh my goodness. It shakes the house, you guys. I want your hour back. You got to wait until fall. Indigo, they give back to you in the fall. Fab Daddy, I would agree. Parents can be high control. Families can totally be high control groups. And people who grow up in a high control environment tend to join high control groups. So the problem with DOA getting arrested, you got an extra hour of sleep this morning? That's great, Fab Daddy. I would have liked that. I was up early, even though I didn't do much all day. It's not official because we can't fully say what one is, Kristen. And if you include ideological, I mean, what I was getting to is people can have personalities like a low tolerance for ambiguity and a high need for control that attracts them to high control groups. And so what that means is it's not just about DOA or L. Ron Hubbard or David Miscavige, because what people will do is they will leave one high control group and go find another. Yes, Kristen. At that number doesn't surprise me. Yeah, up to 10,000. That's what ChatGPT says too. Yes, cult of personality. Indeed. And so people with a person with a low tolerance for ambiguity and a high need for control will tend to as a general rule be attracted to high control groups. They leave Scientology and then join the big cult of the West. Actually, that's not what actually happens, Kristen. A lot of folks leave Scientology and go directly into a different high control group. Mike Brown left Scientology and went into the military. And that actually is not an uncommon trajectory. Other people leave high control groups and then join other high control groups. Well, we're individualistic. We tend towards authoritarianism. But I think plenty of other cultures have high control groups. I don't know that it is American culture in particular. Cheryl did become a weed nun. I would like to become a weed nun. I think we need to have an order of weed nuns. Many military men gleefully say it's the best cult they ever joined. Absolutely. The difference being in the military, and Mike Brown has talked about this, in the military, you might not get a fair shake, but there's policies and procedures in place to manage disagreements and issues. And Adam, that is absolutely the truth, especially when they are threatened. Especially when they are threatened. And the best way to threaten somebody is to challenge their feeling of stability in the world around them. Bye-bye, Shaquille. The best way to threaten somebody is to challenge the stability of their worldview. 80s in Russia. Yeah. 80 in Russia? Just 80? That's an interesting count. I would like to know the sociological reason for that. Are high control groups defined differently in Russia? Russian culture is pretty high control. Anyhow, it has hundreds of years of high control culture that they've been steeped in there. So, Scott's people, it's not like those people are going to go away. Yeah, Kristen, exactly that. That would be an interesting thing to take a look at. For sure. For sure. We are at Second Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Time is flying. Adam's great with the leads, isn't he, Kristen? Just lovely with the leads. Susan, are you still here and being quiet? Just in the background, hanging out? How's that job going? Yes, Second Minnesota goodbye. Kristen, I am so glad that you enjoyed the koshery. It's a lot of fun that you made it. Now I'm craving and I'm going to have to make it for dinner one day this week. Thanks, Fab Daddy. There are high control groups all around us, which means it takes 15 years of treatment with a psych who knows knows about deprogramming, plus being removed from former org members to reintegrate. Yes. These are people who are deeply traumatized. And deeply terrified. And right now, with all the changes in the world is a deeply terrifying place. You avoided telling Grandpa the ingredients as much as possible. He's a meat and potatoes guy, but he liked it. He's a meat and potatoes guy and he liked it, Kristen. See, I'm telling you guys, it is the best meal. Try it. You will not be disappointed. It is a never fail dish for me. Never fail dish. Well, if people don't like lentils, but it is possible if you wanted to make the rice and lentils separate. John Ankerberg has high control hair. Lupita, you've got to take off. I'll see you later, sweetie. Thank you for stopping by. It was so good to have you. 15 years. You've got 8 years of deprogramming under your belt so far. Just make sure you will be okay. Okay, Fab Daddy. That's important. You gave up lentils for Lent? So you'll try it once Lent's over, Adam? It'll be okay? That's what you meant to say, Fab Daddy? I hope everything will be okay. I hope everything will be okay. It is a high stress situation, and like Adam said earlier, humans are vicious hierarchical primates. Right? And when they're threatened, they become very vicious. You wouldn't have made it if you had to make the rice and lentils separate. You got anxiety making both, but making them together canceled out the anxiety. Good. Good, Kristen. I am hopeful that it'll be okay, Fab Daddy. I don't see many paths to that future right now, but I am hopeful. I am ever hopeful. Yes, they will, brain fog. But like I said earlier, I can't. They're good puns. I can't even call them bad. Gave up lentils for Lent. So much fun. So much fun. You'll try it after Lent, right, Adam? I know you're probably just kidding me. You probably do hate lentils, though. People have strong feelings about lentils when they don't like lentils. I think lentils are excellent. I really like them. But I know that people have really strong feelings about them. They are a strange You never tell anyone it can't get worse because you've been proven wrong about that. But just know it'll be okay. That's what I tell myself. You actually enjoy lentils? Well, that's good, Adam. You should try the kushri. I really like lentils. I think they're great. I make them soup. I like lentil soup. I like dal. I like kushri. I like lentil uh lentils made into a patty. All kinds of lentils. Totally a comfort food. As a vegetarian, you have to get your protein wherever you can. Exactly. Lentils and rice is an excellent source of protein. Excellent source of protein. You're settled for world peas? Given a choice, I'd like the lentils. Not the world peas. I'd take world peas, but not so much on the world peas. Pretty sure you are, brain fog. Mama Catone. Pretty sure you are, Mama Catone. The only thing that would make that better is Mama Catone. Mama Catone would have been better. Red lentil patties are great for veggie burgers as well as chickpeas. Chickpeas are another amazing thing. So, Kristen, another thing you can do to gild the lily on the kushri is top it with some garbanzo beans. Just gild the lily and top it with some garbanzo beans. I know it sounds crazy. Lentils, rice, tomato sauce, macaroni, caramelized onions, garbanzo beans. Excellent. Excellent. And the nice thing about the garbanzo beans is all you really need to do is take them out of the can and heat them up. Red lentil patties are great. Indeed, they are. Indeed, they are. Have them with your leftovers, Kristen. Try it like that with your leftovers. Let me know how you like it. You can also put a dollop of plain yogurt on top. That makes it taste good too. Well, because they have an ethical problem with meat, not necessarily that they don't like meat. They may like the flavor and taste of meat, and miss the flavor and taste, but still have an ethical problem with meat production in this country, Fab Daddy. You like degraded beans, Adam? Indigo Twin, Kristen wants to know how to make red lentil patties. This is going to turn into a cooking show. I know it, you guys. Molly Katzen's vegetarian cookbook has what I think is a great recipe for tofu burgers. Really lovely tofu burgers. I do know how to say this. Impossible burgers are amazing. Yeah. I think that a lot of vegetarians are vegetarians because not because they don't like meat, but A, because of the cost, or B, because of the ethical issue. I don't know that it's because of the cost so much anymore. When I was a kid, my parents ate vegetarian because of the cost of meat. So I was raised mostly vegetarian. Easy red lentil patties and go from there. There you go. I have not had those fake chicken patties, Kristen. Are they any good? Are they any good? So these tofu burgers, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Just a second. I'm looking. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I can't find the recipe, you guys. I'll have to get it out, pull it out of the archives. Brain fog is awesome. She sure is. The Dalai Lama eats veal? Really, Adam? Wow. Breadcrumbs or other binding ingredients to keep the patty together. Exactly. Are they good, Kristen? I will have to try them. Dusty is an annoying little brother, but very cool. I'm glad the two of you got along. I'm glad you two got along, played well together. That is the goal around here. Everybody follows the kindergarten rules. I think the priciness is one of the problems, right? When I was a kid, my parents ate vegetarian for economic reasons. Meat was too expensive. They could save money by going vegetarian. Tofu and the co op was less expensive. But nowadays I find that a lot of the pre-prepared vegetarian food is more expensive. I mean, food's more expensive anyhow. Replica meat is like a horror movie. All the fun of killing without the ethical problems, Adam. Without the ethical problems, right? All the fun of killing without the ethical problems. Like a shoot 'em up. You get to have fun, but nobody was actually hurt. Unlike reality TV, where there can actually be damage done, right? Third Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Let's see what the prize is for third Minnesota goodbye. Kristen, this coucherie looks so good. So very good. So Minnie liked the silver. So that is our third Minnesota goodbye prize. Yes. It kind of scares me, Adam. I haven't quite taken the leap because it scares me a little bit, replica meat. It's a little weird. I remember Tofurkey, and Tofurkey was not a good thing in the early 80s. Yeah, I got this one. I got this one. This one is my concentrate, and this one is my nicotine. Dusty, you got to meet everybody today. I'm so glad you had a good day. It looked like it was lovely weather, even though you got cold. You should have brought a sweatshirt and some long pants, Dusty. But you looked like you were having fun. I just worried about you being out there and being cold. I want this to be a space where we can talk about hard things. And we can have people in here who disagree with us. And I know from what you've told me, yeah, it can be chilly, especially compared to Clearwater, right, Fab Daddy? Especially as compared to Clearwater. We're all chilling here. That doesn't mean we all agree, but we can all talk through the agreements and listen to the different perspectives without people being told they're stupid, they're the other, they're a traitor. I've seen a lot of that going on in the community, directed even at people who were just in somebody's chat. And if you've got a problem with attacking people for being in somebody's chat, then you shouldn't attack people for being in somebody's chat, no matter who that person is. Clearwater is the headquarters. Clearwater is in Florida. And it is the worldwide headquarters of Scientology, Fab Daddy. So let me show you where be Clearwater, Florida. Clearwater, Florida. Hold up. Clearwater is just north and west of St. Petersburg. Dusty lives in Clearwater. Since Heston was in Soylent Green, they should have called it Planet of the Crepes. Funny, Adam. Kristen, tell me what you mean. I'm not following you. I think you must have been responding to something I said that I've already forgotten. Let me know when you went to start or do a test drive. So where was I? If you don't agree with telling people that they can't be in other people's chats, then you shouldn't be telling people that they shouldn't be in other people's chats. You have to be consistent. And that means you can't say somebody is uncool just because they're in somebody else's chat. I've seen that going on. You can't say a victim is invalid just because you don't agree with their ideology. They're just as much of a victim. The rules apply across the board. It's when they don't apply across the board that you need to look at it and go, that is a problem. That is a problem. It's inconsistent with the norm that's been established. I think it's important to discuss about it. I think some people can feel threatened when people get too passionate. If we're dealing with people who are emotionally reactive because they're coming from high control groups, then the thing that we don't want to do is engage in reactive behavior, which means staying calm in ways that other people understand being calm, because what might be calm to one person is overly passionate to another. So it's always this hard line to walk, right, y'all? It's always this hard line to walk. How do I deal with people that I love and care about who are looking at the world? Yeah, I know. I know, Fab Daddy. I am talking about the norms in my living room, whether I will, and also because I want to be the mom of the world, I'm talking about the kindergarten rules that we all learned that should be applied. They're not difficult rules, not difficult at all. People seem, I mean, it is the Wild West. People forget there's any law, there's any rules. They just want to act like they can do whatever they want. I think that forcing people to choose sides is also unfair. I have been supported by so many people who also don't get along with other people who have supported me. Indigo, well said. Forcing people to choose sides is not cool. Ask you to choose sides, I'll choose myself. Exactly, Indigo. Usually, rebel against the rules, even the kindergarten rules, Fab Daddy. I mean, there are some rules that are worth it. Yeah, I do what I want. Exactly, individualism. I do whatever I want. But then they want rules to apply. When he decided to install his mods in everyone else's chat was a turning point for me. How so, Adam? Tell me more. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. Why would you want your own mods in everybody else's chat? Look. Especially naps. Exactly, Fab Daddy. Exactly that. Okay, you guys got to make sure we don't miss the third Minnesota goodbye when they arrive. We missed them the last few times. We want to make sure we catch them when they show up. I don't know. I worry about. You won't do naps, Kristen? I worry. I mean, it's great and all that DOA is in jail. But if that's okay, Sunrise Dawn. Kiddo takes priority. Kiddo takes definite priority. It's very important. You want to talk authoritarian? Have an infant. No, she's not third Minnesota goodbye because she's a mod. Mods don't count. Nap time in kindergarten was not needed, but after age 30 is almost required. You know why they have nap time in kindergarten? It is required. The adults need it. That's why I had nap time for my children, because I needed the nap. I needed the rest. That was the moment the power grab became sinister and obvious. Yeah, I didn't like him from the get-go, but when he started going after the mods and talking about everybody having to get rid of certain mods and these mods are bad, labeling like that was just wackadoodle, just off the charts nuts. But I agree, that was the moment it became obvious. No, you totally count, but Sunrise Dawn, y'all moderators get extra perks over and above the beautiful pictures that Cricket does. And your extra perk is arriving tomorrow, Sunrise Dawn. DOA did, Kristen. DOA did. When this all started, when the whole kit and caboodle started with DOA, he was bad mouthing mods, saying that they were a problem, that they were bad actors, threatening people, that if they didn't remove XYZ mod, they'd be put on blast, insisting on what mods were okay and what mods weren't, wanting his mods to be installed in people's chats. It was a little excessive. A little excessive. Removing yourself from the drama is an excellent step, Indigo. I approve 100%. That is a valid, completely appropriate, and valid action to remove yourself from the drama. Yes, Kristen. Because he might be proven wrong. Or somebody might say something against him. Sound anything? Yeah, like exactly, Indigo. On the one hand, whatever, not everybody's going to like me. But you know what? The appropriate response, did I show you guys? I did. Let me show you again. Look at her. Look at how cute she is. Oh, don't disappear, baby. Come on. I've got to keep her in front of me. There we go. No. Nope, she's going to disappear. Not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody is going to like me. I don't expect everybody to like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure there are people who click on and click right off. Hangnails. Let's hope he never has a hangnail. But again, the appropriate response to not liking me is not to run out and call me names. We wouldn't allow that from a 5-year-old. Or at least I hope we wouldn't. Apparently, some people must. We wouldn't allow that from a 5-year-old. Okay, guys, I have been on my hobby horse now for almost 2 hours preaching to the choir. Mostly because I'm worried about what comes after. Nobody's going to be out there deprogramming DOA's followers. Where are they going to go? What are they going to find next? What are they going to do? You clicked off this channel all the time, Fab Daddy? Yeah, if you don't like me, you can click off. No harm, no foul. You know what? Sometimes I don't even notice. People come in, they don't like it, they take off. That is cool. Do not spend your time with me if you've got other better things to do. Dusty, are you still here? Hey, Rib Guy, how are you? He was here earlier. Hi, Brian. Get off my hobby horse? Yeah, I've been on it for a while, haven't I? Rib Guy, you may not know this, but we have a prize. We have a prize for the first person who comes in after the third Minnesota goodbye, which is probably confusing. But Rib Guy, today that is you. And the prize is this beautiful piece of art. So all you have to do, Rib Guy, all you have to do is send an email to Cricket or me and we will send you the file. This is a picture of Cricket's cat, Jackie. And I think it's lovely. And Dawn, Oh, look at here. We have a special appreciation prize just for Dawn. Nope, this isn't for you, Dawn. This isn't the one for you. Hold up. Here it is. Check it out. Poet? That's fine, Brian. Rib Guy? Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Rib Guy. It's just a fun thing we do here. I say Minnesota goodbyes. They're kind of like, when you say goodbye to somebody in the house and you get up and you stand to leave and then you talk by the front door for another 20 minutes and then you walk out onto the front porch and you say goodbye and you talk for another 20 minutes. And then you walk out to the car and you say goodbye and you talk for another 20 minutes. Those are Minnesota goodbyes. I call them Minnesota goodbyes because I grew up in Minnesota. And when I first started my channel, people would magically show up after the third Minnesota goodbye, Rib Guy. It just always seemed to happen. So we instituted a third Minnesota goodbye award given to the first person who shows up after the third Minnesota goodbye. The award is the picture, Rib Guy, and we will email it to you. And let me show you the picture again. Let me show it. Exactly. Exactly, Indigo Twin. Just like that. That kind of goodbye. So, Rib Guy, this is your prize. This is Cricket's beautiful cat, Jackie. And so if you email Cricket and the email that he's dropped, the link that he's dropped in the chat, he will email you a picture of this. He will email you this picture. And Brian, go ahead and send the email and we will get yours off to you. So once again, I've got to goes. Yeah, there I've got to goes. Something like that. Yes. Does it matter to you is Rib Guy. Exactly, Kristen. And here again is Sunrise Dawn's appreciation picture. Pretty sure that's Orion there with Cricket's cats. Does it make sense now, Rib Guy? Does it make sense now? So does anybody else, before we close up shop, guys, do y'all have any other thoughts on what's next with the High Control Group saga? Because these people, they're not going anywhere. They're just going to get absorbed into other communities in YouTube. And that is a problem. The only way they're gonna find other leaders that they're gonna follow and continue to engage in us and them behavior. And so we just need to be aware of it, Call it out. You think they'll move to true crime, Adam? That would be lovely. They can get out of this community. But poor true crime. They're going to go somewhere. They're not just going to disappear. They will create or find a new leader. In the absence of any activities that pull them out of the cave, they will find other ways to be in the cave. Yes, Kristen, that is probably true. That is probably true. But that doesn't mean Cricket. I'm not suggesting at all we don't enjoy the Schadenfreude. I think that that is fair and valid to enjoy the Schadenfreude. Then we'll see what happens. But keep in mind that one of the things that we all objected to so deeply in that stream that DOA did with Ellie was DOA's glee in somebody else's downfall. So I think Schadenfreude is just fine. I think being happy that somebody is getting their due is fine. There is a line between that and taking glee in it. And I'm not suggesting that anybody in here is taking glee in it. Please don't think I'm suggesting that, because I don't mean that at all. Anti-Scientology stuff has been online since the beginning of the internet. 2 hours ago, what antics? YouTube didn't do their notifications. We missed you, honey. Yeah, I'm done. I'm closing up shop. But it's good to see you, honey. With that, though, guys, I need to say good night. I need to run and find my dinner that is not koshery. I agree, Kristen. 100%. 100%. Look at those patterns and consider other ways that those same patterns could present. The behaviors might be different, but the patterns will look the same. And that's what you need to look out for, because what Kristen says is true. There are many DOA types. Many. And you need to be really careful of what you do when you encounter one. With that said, y'all, what Cricket says, have a wonderful night. Hugs and hugs to all of y'all. Thanks for coming. And I will see you all on Wednesday for Wheel. And I'm not sure what we'll talk about then. I'll figure something out. Hugs and hugs. Bye-bye.